Hello, and welcome to another reaction video with me, I guess. We're doing Hunt the Truth, Season 2, Episode 3. Kind of fun thing between Episode 2 and 3, I came to the realization that Maya might have lied about Mashak being dead. So, then I just saw, before starting this video, I just saw this picture of a wall with lots of text on it about, like, it's basically a conspiracy theory wall. And it looks like it was made by Mashak, I think. It's got lots of stuff. It's got, Oni in a circle in red, and then Pharaoh. And she was saying how Pharaoh almost figured out who, or Mashak rather, figured out who Pharaoh was. And I clicked it, and now all the loading that I did to make sure it didn't stop has failed. So we're gonna start this loading again, and hopefully it'll go without a hitch.
My ears were still ringing from the bombs. Oni had sent me in on a recon mission, but then they'd hit the base with everything they had, almost no warning. No attempt to protect me, or Ari. Certainly not civilians. I was just another data point to them. Disposable. I could feel all the hearts and minds I'd fought for slipping away. The UNSC would always bomb, and the rebels would always take up arms in vengeance. Maybe both Sully and Ilsa were right. There was no room for anything else. As I looked down at Bostwick, I couldn't help but feel guilty. I had taken this lost, naive kid and turned her into a foot soldier for my cause. I'd become an expert at rationalizing my actions, telling myself that ultimately I was working towards the greater good. Can I see the link?
I'd recommend sedating her until we can effectively treat her injuries.
I'd rather rot. Just rest. As Bostwick drifted out of consciousness, I looked over at the data chip. Ari secured prime intel on the anomalies, and after that airstrike, any shred of faith I had that Oni would do the right thing with it was gone.
Yeah.
For all I knew, they would just cover the whole thing up and let another colony fall. But in the right hands, this could help save lives. I wasn't going to turn it over to them. I was going to get real answers. And there was only one person who could give them to me.
Mashak.
The only problem was,
He's dead.
he'd been dead for months.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was alive.
The Safehouse barely qualified as a house. A crumbling old farm on the outskirts of Binturong, a dusty wasteland in the outer colonies. No one around for miles, except for the occasional alien trader. Not a great place to live, but a perfect place to hide.
What is this place? It's not in my database of safe houses.
It's off the grid.
There's some sort of signal interference here.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. The Safehouse was an old lesson from Ari. When Oni puts you under cover, you lose everything. Every trace of who you were is wiped away to protect the mission. Ari taught me, always keep a place just for me. A place to keep memories, to stay attached to the life Oni had erased. A place I could run away to when cover got too deep. Somewhere to ground myself. Or maybe stash a secret.
Who's there? Don't come in! I've got a gun! I've got two guns!
Way, Mashak.
Maya! I thought you'd never come back! I thought nobody would ever come back.
He looked rough. Greasy hair, a thin, patchy beard. The weight he'd lost in his face made his darting, bloodshot eyes all the more unsettling. What have you been doing to my house?
Oh, you have no idea what it's been like. Wait, why are you carrying a dead person?
She's not dead. Here, help me get her into the bunk.
Mashak Murad.
Oh! Is that an AI?
Well, rather energetic for a dead man.
You've got an AI?
This is Black Box.
The official report indicated that you had been terminated, quite brutally, if I recall.
I wish I had been.
It does look like it's been tortured.
He hasn't been tortured.
Oh, really? Okay, well then what would you call it? She left me here with no comms, no access to Waypoint, no slush. I've been reading paper books. Paper books.
I couldn't go through with killing Mashak. He'd figured out my secret, and he was gonna tell Ben. He had to be silenced, but
And even if I managed to finish
when I
one,
broke into his house that night,
I wouldn't even have
he
it
got
in an hour
so
to talk
scared,
about it.
he ran headfirst into a wall and knocked himself unconscious.
I caught him stealing food.
He's a great hacker, but dangerous?
Food. That's right.
Not even
That
close.
was even worse.
So I hit him, stuck him out in the middle of nowhere, and put a blackout array cutting off communications for a kilo in every direction.
Oh, good.
But a few months
God
cut off from the
bless.
outside world
God
had left
bless.
him a little tech-starved. And honest to goodness, AI was the best toy I could have brought him.
You know, you're really top of the line stuff. You live on this chip?
In a way, you see...
Okay, I have a question. I'm sure you get it all the time. But other AIs look like people, right? But you're just like a big blue cube.
I am pure intellect. I feel no need to affect a facade in order to make myself more palatable to
I
humans.
love BB so
I am
much.
what I am. I am Black Box.
Yeah, right. But the box is really blue, though.
Black is the absence of light. A hologram can't display
I
black.
think I'm gonna call you Blue Cube. Ah! Electrocute me!
No. Oh, hang on. Yes.
Listen, Blue Cube, I can stick this chip in a micro cooker.
Miss
and
Shock,
just
stop it.
Hey, why did you bring him here? He's owning.
Miss Shock, I'm owning.
And how long is that going to last once he tells them you're keeping me alive? You can't trust an AI. They want you to think they're these perfect synthetic beings, but you know how they make them? They take some dead guy's brain and just rewire it with new programming. They're basically computer zombies.
We also have excellent hearing.
Focus. The anomalies, the same ones you were tracking, they're here now, and they're real. They've already destroyed 5 colonies. Now I've got a data chip full of intel from one of the sites and 0 context. I need information.
I'm
The
sorry,
kind that isn't
I'm
sitting out there in the
curious.
waypoint index.
Wait.
The kind you can only find in the
Do
slush.
you mean you're going to give me back my compact?
Hold on.
Yes!
Hold on.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes!
opening up a limited channel. An encrypted frequency just for you so BB can't use it to call
I'm
Oni.
not sensing a lot of trust between us, Maya.
Find out what's going on. Fast.
Absolutely. 1,000,000,000% focused.
Oh, poor baby.
Wow, I have a lot of unread messages. Oh no.
What?
The unthinkable has happened. I fell off the leaderboards in Ungoy Farmer.
Miss Shock.
1,000,000,000% focused.
While
I'm
Miss
going
Shock tried to
forward.
uncover the secrets of the slush, I went in to check on Bostwick's wounds. Miss Shock had made a real mess of the place. Clothes and ration wrappers on every surface. But I noticed Miss Shock had left one area untouched. My shelf. I picked up an old photo. Me as a little girl holding up a trophy. Spelling, I think. It was hard to remember the exact moment, but I remembered the place. My dad's old cabin. When I was setting up the safe house, I kept thinking back to that cabin, with its wooden walls and a door my dad carved himself. Something about it always felt so real, so permanent. I was still lost in the past when I looked over and saw Bostwick, awake, staring at me, pure hatred in her eyes. The look on her face caught me completely off guard. She looked like she was ready to kill me.
Probably
Before I
was.
could get a word out, Bostwick was coming at me with a scalpel. She was still weak, though. It didn't take much to restrain her. Eventually, she gave in to the pain. I know that you're angry. I would be too if you just listened. Just do it. Do what? I swear to me, I'd rather die than be in the custody of a traitor. What? I'm not a traitor. You're Oni, aren't you? Yes, but I'm trying to protect you. You're my friend. Pharaoh and I were friends. I don't know who you are. You're right. You don't know me. But we're not so different, you and I, okay? Just trust me. Trust you? Were your parents killed by Oni officers? No, Bostwick. I am nothing like you. You're a liar. You're right. But believe it or not, you are the closest thing I have to a friend. And I want you to know the truth. I at least owe you that. Come on. Ask me whatever you want.
Well, what's your real name?
Maya Sankar.
And how long have you been a rat traitor?
I joined Oni when I was around your age, but I didn't get into Spec Ops as I opened up to Bostwick after years of deceiving her.
Oh, I hear this.
I told myself that regaining her trust like this would protect her, but as the answers poured out of me, I knew deep down why I was really doing it. I needed to finally start telling the truth. I had absolutely no idea they were going to attack. They kept me strictly need to know.
Were you going to try to turn me? Make me into an Oni spy like you?
No. It It wasn't like that.
All that stuff you said as Pharaoh about finding the truth, about beating them with ideas and lifting up the outer colonies as equals.
I meant it. Every word. More than anything, I wanted to...
Oh, honey.
I don't know. After being undercover for so long, I started to feel... Sometimes I feel like I am Pharaoh. It's hard to explain. But I want what she wants, you know? And in a lot of ways, being Pharaoh makes more sense to me now than I could have...
Maya!
I rushed in and found Mashak with his jaw on the floor.
You could have led with, "Hey, Mashak, here's your compad, and by the way, the Master Chief is dead!"
Yeah, I've been a little preoccupied. What does it say?
Well, the official news is that there's no news. Same speech on a loop. He died in the line of duty, protecting us all, blah, 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 what a hero. But lots of speculation in the slush. Theories, other theories debunking those theories. Some people claiming the UNSC is using his death to cover up a bigger story. They think he's still alive.
Reliable, I'm sure.
What would the UNSC have to gain from presenting the chief as dead? Why destroy his legacy?
It cements his legacy.
Bostwick had made her way to her feet and stumbled into the room.
You once said the heroes are born out of sacrifice, but cemented in death.
Yeah, but still, why? What, to cover up the anomalies? How does killing the chief publicly cover that up?
It doesn't.
Because he's causing
Unless
the alarm.
the truth is scarier than the
Anomalies.
cover-up. What if the whole Biko story was a dry run? If the chief isn't following orders anymore and he's proving to be more trouble than he's worth, you'd have to get rid of him, right?
I was processing everything
makes
very
sense.
slowly at that point.
Doesn't it?
But what Mashak said had struck a chord. If the chief wasn't following the rules, and the Oni AI bot's statistical analysis pointed to his death being more valuable than his life, they wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger. I should know. I've just been the victim to the same analysis. Okay, so is there anything specific about the anomalies?
I did find one theory, but it's a little New Testament. You know the triad?
The religious cult?
Yeah, they're popping up all over the place, claiming that the anomalies aren't random, that they're part of the transcendence, and that their leader, Dask, has returned, and that these anomalies are basically the galactic end times.
The triad was a religion, sort of. I'd run into small pockets of their members a few times while undercover.
This is
They were always
interesting.
preaching about multiple lives, transcendence, the end of the universe.
Wait,
Crazy
wait.
ideas that didn't sound so crazy if you were desperate enough.
Wait. I'm gonna pause. So, in, they had this video where they were discussing, making the music of Halo 5. And they had recorded, what the guy said was he wanted to record people of different vocal levels. And they had a bunch of people sing. My thing is that what if he was having, like, in that what he said was you were praying to this thing and you didn't want it to be activated. You were like, go to sleep, stay asleep, and that's what I got out of the video. So, I originally, kind of assumed that it was, not Covenant, because that's not quite what it is anymore, but, that it was aliens. So what if the Triad are the ones singing in that video, and they're like, go to sleep, go the fuck to sleep, don't wake up, and then Chief comes in and is like, yeah, I'm gonna wake him up now. Because that seems like what's going on here. I think. I don't know. Fuck, I hope I'm right, because I really like being right, but, it's not much to go off. I'm going off on a weird tangent based on a music thing. That said, I've guessed things off of music before that turned out correct, so I don't know, but that was Red versus Blue. This is Halo, and it's a different universe and different rules, and they wouldn't release something like that, a hint like that, unless they released a hint like that to see if someone would pick up on it. God, have I said yet that Mashak is my favorite because I relate to him? Maybe I should say that.
Lucky for them, there were a lot of desperate people in the outer colonies. Their leader,
how it
a man
goes.
named Dosk Gevadim, had gained millions of followers across Waypoint, then suddenly disappeared. Oni was pretty sure he was dead or in hiding, but his followers were convinced he'd ascended into another realm.
Only keeps blocking the posts, but word's getting out. Here, take a look.
Oh, ascended. What if? Okay, gotta pause again. He turned into a Promethean, and he was in one of the cities that was like, okay, good. Just kidding. Let's keep going.
For your struggles, I have willed myself back to this plane of causation and particles.
That accent.
That I might illuminate the meaning of these events. Exquisite transcendence is yours for the taking. Oh, children, we are now upon the rebirth. These so-called disasters herald a new age of unification through disentanglement, a glorious unbecoming, freedom from the quivering vessels of self we plugged in for so long. Do not fear these events. Do not fear their power, for as the worlds shake, we are inevitably arriving at the precipice of existence, the edge of a metaverse that is
Sounds like the
awakening
Covenant,
for
I
us.
swear to God. Like the Texan
Who have
version of the
only known the
Covenant.
night are about to bear witness to the first dawn. That is the advent of the third life, and I find myself humbly bestowed with a genetic imperative to release your fear, to help you step lightly from the edge into ascendance. The spiritual genocide that awaits those who do not open their eyes, the abyss beneath them, I cannot bear. This is only the beginning.
Could he possibly have intel on these
I
things?
suppose. I mean, anything is possible. We live in a galaxy where the human race was almost wiped out by an alien race that breeds farts.
Actually, it's methane, and I'm fairly certain that grunts were far from wiping out humanity single-handedly.
Okay, now we're just splitting hairs.
All right, well, on that note, Maya, I believe this detour has gone on long enough. It's time to return to the realm of rational
I
thought.
can't go back. I can't trust Oni anymore, not after everything that's happened. There's no telling what they do with the intel we've gathered.
Maya, I wish Oni was run with the monstrous efficiency you and Mashak imagine.
So tell me then, what's really going on here?
What's really going on, Maya, is that you're walking a treacherous and narrow path. But if you return with me and the data to Oni, you may just avoid falling off.
Is that an offer or a threat? What the hell?
Sounds like an incoming call.
But I blocked all comm
It
signals.
would appear that you did not.
Maya!
Noah, what the hell? How did you get through? Why didn't you warn me about the bombing?
I tried to hold them off as long as I could. I was overruled. They decided taking out the target was worth losing the asset.
Damn it, Noah.
Maya, listen.
I am not an
Maya,
asset.
there's no time. Your location isn't secure.
What? But how did they even know?
Why didn't you check in? They think you're on the run. There's an extraction team inbound right now.
What? But how did
Listen to me, Maya. They just want to bring you in. Nothing bad is going to happen. I promise.
No.
Maya, stop. Listen to me. Whatever you do.
Goodbye, Noah.
Maya, you're making a terrible mistake.
We gotta move. Everybody, now! I understood what he was saying. Bring me in. That means midnight facility. When they bring you in, you don't come out again. That wasn't gonna happen to me.
How did they find us?
It was Blue Cube. The little rat bastard sold us
Our
out!
communications have been incapacitated by the blackout array since we arrived. Perhaps they tracked us from Conrad's Point?
No time. Help me flip the bed.
Okay, but why? Holy crap, my bed is full of grenades.
Bostwick, are you okay?
Yeah.
Why is my bed full of grenades?
Can you run? I need your help. I'm setting a 10-second timer. That should give us enough time to get clear. There's no cover out there, so once we get outside, run.
God, I should have paid more attention in PE class.
The explosion should distract them long enough for us to get to the ship.
What about before the explosion goes off?
Pray they miss.
Hey, Maya? Yeah, I don't mean to keep harping on this, but why is my bed full of grenades?
Maya, you can still end this.
No, I can't. Everybody ready? Timers a go. In 3,
Let's do it.
2,
Oh, God.
1. Those 10 seconds felt like eons. It took them 5 just to spot us. The next 5 for an eternity. The next thing I can remember, I was standing in the cargo bay, feeling the familiar tug of acceleration as the engines engaged. Bostwick was doubled over in pain.
Fine.
Is
I'm
Mashak
fine.
owning?
As we left the planet's atmosphere, I didn't know where I could go. My employer had just tried to light me up. Bostwick would out me to the rebels the first chance she got. Pharaoh was gone. Commander Maya Sankar was gone. And with the few memories I'd kept now burning up in that safe house below, whoever it was I used to be was gone too. All I had now was an AI who wanted to turn me in, betrayed friend who wanted me dead, a hacker with a heart of lettuce, and a data chip filled with information that could get me killed. I had no idea what to do next. But then somebody made that decision for me.
What is that? What did the zombie do now?
It's not me. There's a ship approaching fast off our starboard.
Chief?
Damn it, Oni! I'm moving to full thrust. I'll
I
obey!
recommend securing your person instead. Now.
You heard him. Strap in.
Normally, you can't feel how fast you're going in space. Unless, of course, somebody grabs you by the tail. Forced deceleration is nasty. If we hadn't been warned, it would have smashed us into a pile of guts on the bulkhead. But even strapped in, the G-forces can be gut-wrenching.
Is it Chief?
By the time I unbuckled and fell out of my seat, all the ship's systems were shutting down.
Everybody okay?
They'd killed our power.
Who is it? Who is
We were
it?
helpless. I could hear them coming through the airlock door. An Oni acquisitions team. I tried to stand up and face them, but I was too dizzy and collapsed on the deck.
Is it Chief?
There was a pneumatic hiss as the boarding tube bolted to our hull.
Is it Oni?
Of their mag boots as they stepped across the gangway, even the sound of their TACCOMs hacking our lock system. I'd been on the other side of that door. I know what happens when they take you. I wish I could say I was brave. Pharaoh would have been brave, but I'd seen what happened to Ben. I was afraid of the pain. I was afraid to lose myself. I didn't want to die. I looked up at the
Please be Chief.
There were 3 of them, but my eyes were immediately drawn to their leader. I saw his razor-sharp beak first, bright red quills spilling out over his neck, and finally,
Aliens?
his talons, gripping a needler, pointing it right at my chest. This wasn't Oni. This was something worse.
Arbiter?
Something more unpredictable. Jackals.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I was hoping... No! Oh, God. Oh, God. I was hoping it was Chief, and then aliens, so I was like, Arbiter? But no, this is fucking... I hope it's Arby. I really hope it's Arby's, because I'm thinking Arby's. That's the worst joke I've ever made. Oh God, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? No! Mashak's alive! That was really good. That was so good. Okay, so time to pull my hair back for theory time. I was immediately wrong about several things that I paused in the video, and that's always funny when that happens. I don't think that's happened in RVB, so I'm really happy that they keep leading me on in a certain direction, and I'm like, no, it has to be some other thing. And then it's just the third thing that I didn't even think of. To be fair, aliens. I should have guessed that. Okay. I should have guessed aliens would be a thing, because she has nowhere else to go. It's either, you know, Chief picks her up somehow, or somebody who is not Oni or Rebels. It had to be a third party. So I don't think Chief was too out there, but a little bit out there. He has no reason to pick her up, and that was a really dumb thought, and I admit it was really dumb, but I was like, who else could it possibly be? And then it was aliens, and I'm okay with this. The moment they said talons, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty okay with this. I am not even sure where they're gonna go next. It's been really unpredictable, as a whole, and I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed it. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know. I don't have any theories this week. So if you have any theories, comment in the beep in the comment section. I don't know what else to call it, so I'm gonna go with beep. Go down there and comment, leave me some comments, and tell me what you think's gonna happen next, because I have no fucking clue. I guess it could be Arbiter. They could be taking him back to someone, but also jackals have a tendency to be scavengers, so they could just go with that whole route, that they're gonna scavenge the ship and something. I fucking love BB in this episode. I love BB's and Mashak's interaction. It was so funny. And I love especially the joke of Blue Cube, because Halo AI, they use blue holograms or orange holograms or something, and the closest he can get to lack of light was simply not projecting over a piece of space, but the rest, like the outline, would have had to be blue. So it's really amusing to me. That's super amusing. I've always headcanoned that there were AI out there who like identified as something ridiculous, like a Mobius strip. I would love a Mobius strip AI, just like because it's infinite. And maybe if BB ever ascended past rampancy, he'd be a Mobius strip instead of a contained box. Because a box is like limited, but a Mobius strip is endless. That's really geeky. That's a really geeky thought. I'm gonna stop here. I hope you guys have a really great day, week, and gosh, I'm really excited for the next episode. That was good. I'm happy. Bye!